So far, I win. The weatherman didn't stand a chance again today. 17 degrees, he said, and cloudy. Well, okay, a little bit of cloud. Really rainy earlier on this morning. And now we're going to find out whether Barbara, my co-host of the breakfast show, is going to win at 24 degrees. It doesn't feel like winter. Really doesn't. I don't know how to say that. Friday, August the 7th, coming into a brand spanking new weekend. And got to welcome everybody along that's following us on Facebook Live right now. Those of you that are going to be watching it later on YouTube, stuff like that, hit the subscribe button. Whack the hell out of the like button. And that bell thing, yeah, and notifications, yeah, do that as well. But in the meantime, let's do this.
Galaxy 107 FM.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and well, it's an absolute pleasure today to be going to Tennessee, actually. Might even be getting a flag out of this deal. This is a good one. I'm liking this, I really am. We're going to be meeting Kyle Elliott coming out of Music City, Nashville, and well, hailing from Mount Juliet. Isn't that where... Oh, is that Joliet? Isn't that where there's a prison? You never know. I'll ask him anyway. But in the meantime, right here at Galaxy 107 FM Live is Kyle Elliott and Any More. So, Kyle, welcome to Galaxy, my friend. It's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me on the other side of the world. Good to see you.
It really is a pleasure, my friend. And it's not easy getting an interview with us here at Galaxy, I've got to be honest with you. But it basically comes down to I get a USB kind of deal and I play you in my car because for two reasons, actually. The first reason is nobody else can influence me on whether I want to do the interviews. The other reason is nobody else wants to drive with me, so, you know, it's good.
Well, that makes it easy, I suppose.
It kind of does. It really does. But at the end of the day, because believe me, there's quite a process before it comes to me, but I won't bore you with that. But I don't know how Barbara does it. I really don't, to be honest with you. So it is an absolute pleasure because I'm an engineer myself. I've been doing it for about almost 40 years now, not only doing studio engineering but front of house as well, and I've worked with some of the biggest bands in the world, and I listen to your music and I think, you know, Jesus, there's something here. I think this is going to go somewhere. So I'd like to talk to you about your music, but I'm just going to ask you, Kyle, are you signed at the moment?
I'm not. I'm an independent artist. There's kind of a lot that goes into that decision. A majority of that would be rights, and a good portion of that would also be financial obligations.
Right. But if the opportunity come up, would you be interested in talking to somebody?
Yeah, of course. I've talked to numerous labels in the past, and it just never comes quite to the point where I would like it to be. And I think that comes on the side of wanting to be successful for me and wanting to be successful for themselves. So it's an interesting type of situation, but nothing has come to the table that I've been willing to sign
Okay,
yet.
well, I tell you what, once we get this interview over and done with, I'll have a chat to you about something that I might have in mind for you, if that's all right with you. And basically all it is an introduction. Where it goes from there is between you guys. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Any opportunity, I'm willing to take it. I'm a yes kind of man.
All right. Okay, so let's go to the desk and let's have some fun.
Anymore.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 17 away from lunchtime, midday, 12 o'clock, 22 degrees. It's heading up close to where Barbara predicted 24. Yeah, don't want that to happen at all. I want to win today, believe me, I do. But it's scaringly close, I gotta be honest with you. Friday, August the 7th, and an absolute pleasure to be joined live, coming out of Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, Music City, yeah, absolutely, by singer-songwriter. Coming from, of course, hailing from Mount Juliet, Tennessee, with over 16,000 streams on Spotify and, well, 4,533 followers on Twitter. So you're expecting, Kyle, a check from Spotify anytime soon for $1?
If you were to calculate up how much I put in versus how much I've gotten, it would be a very painful number.
Yeah, believe me, I know exactly what you're saying there. It's so much invested into it. These days, it's surreal times right now, isn't it? Especially with this COVID virus thing going on. It's limited the options of being able to perform, and especially at concerts and stuff like that. Are you finding it rather difficult, and are you writing more new music right now?
So the live shows have been difficult. Typically I play in Nashville 2 to 5 times a week when we are in a normal circumstance, but Nashville has been fairly much closed since all of this has happened. So I've had to kind of revert to smaller towns around the Tennessee area. And it's actually been fairly well. I've done good in that department, and you find that smaller venues tend to appreciate the music a bit more, which is a nice change of pace. But I have been doing more writing since everything's been happening. There's not much to do when you're locked in the house, so what else can you do but write? And it has led to some pretty good songs. I'm very excited for what's to come in the next chapter.
You know, that really excites me, and believe me, I've listened to a lot of your music. We've been getting inundated. Now, we haven't literally told anybody who plays the songs. We just sort of, you know, like dipping the toe in the water. We'll we'll play the songs and just move on. Our audio audience has been literally blowing up our internet, going who, what, when, why, how, and can we hear it again? So, literally, we have based a very, very big following for you since we've been playing you here at Galaxy. Now, we started this show with Anymore. Kyle Elliott, tell me a little bit about it. How did you come to the lyrics of Anymore?
Well, to be honest, this was the very first song that I wrote as an independent artist. And I would have to give advice to anybody looking to be an artist to not record the very first song that you ever write. You know, coming out of the gate, I think it's important to have a good following and to have a good support system, but also not to release a ballad. And that's exactly what I decided to do. But the idea came from a situation that I was in where I had come to a fork in the road, and it was either go one way and continue doing this or go the other way and not continue going down that same road. And the idea was just, I'm not going to let this get in my way anymore. It's either now or never. And it kind of all kept coming back to, this is it. So no more. I'm not going to wait around anymore. And so that's where that lyric comes from.
I absolutely love it. I really, really do. Now, at the same time, and believe me, I think this is fascinating, but first of all, we better do a fan question. Kyle Elliott, if a fan wanted to get hold of you, are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, Kyle, do you respond?
Absolutely. Every single person that reaches out, I try to respond. I'm a very busy person, not just with music. I have a bunch of other ventures going on, but I think the best thing that an artist can do is be authentic with their fans, because without fans, artists are nothing. What's the point of making music if you have nobody to listen to it? So I would absolutely reach out to any person that wants to communicate with me. And I can tell you, I've gone through sometimes hundreds of messages in a single day, just trying to keep up and make sure that people feel that they are heard and that they are appreciated, because I cannot show my appreciation enough to the people that listen to my music. It's so humbling.
Very cool. Now, do you have a website?
I do. Everything is labeled basically the same thing. My idea was to make it as simple as possible. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all of it, and my website are under the same name, which is The Kyle Elliott. And the website's just www.thekyleelliott.com. And again, on all social medias, you can find me under that same alias.
Awesome. Now, at the same time, do you have a merch store on your website?
I do have a merch store on the website. It's pretty bare at the moment, considering there's not been a lot of production for anything over here. But I have some exciting news for the release that I'm going to be releasing another line of shirts. And following that will be hats, koozies, hopefully flags, but definitely more stickers because I'm all about the stickers.
Yeah, well, me too, to be honest with you. So I might talk to you about that as we go, literally. Now, having said that, come on over. Tell me a little bit about that.
Come on over, one that I wrote about 2.5 years ago, and it wasn't until maybe a year later that it actually came to be a relevant situation in my life. And it's funny how that happens. After I release the song or after I write the song, it becomes real. But this song can be related to either friendship, a personal relationship, anything like that. And it talks about the point where you've made mistakes in past relationships, and now that the relationship is over, you're thinking, well, if I had done this, I could make it better. If I could go back and do this way, I could make it better. And in your mind, you're like, well, if they'll just talk to me, if they'll just give me a second chance, then we can fix everything that's been wrong. And in reality, that almost never happens. And that comes full circle here in this song. And this is part of a project that I've been working on for the last 1.5 years as well, that ties into some of the other songs that they say we're going to be listening to here in a little bit. So we'll talk more about it.
Nice. Well, I think this is life imitating art this time around. Here, live, is, of course, Kyle Elliott. And come on over. How you feeling, Kyle? You okay?
Feeling great. And interesting thing here is that song is not even live in the U.S. yet, the one you're playing right now. So we are still waiting about 5 more hours.
Oops.
So you're introducing it to the world here.
Nice, nice. Well, vicariously,
That's
I'm not going to apologise now. I like that.
No need.
I like that. I really, really do. We released a song. I got a friend of mine who's a manager of a band in Norway, and they're coming to New Zealand for a concert when this COVID thing's over and done with, and we can bring people into the country. And he's a very close friend of mine, Gear, and literally he wrote a song, and I was interviewing a young lady called Jennifer from a band called Diamonds and Whiskey, and he was watching the interview, and he says to me, hey, listen, I'm going to get in touch with her. And I went, oh yeah, okay, fair enough. And he did, right? And he sent her a song and said, would you consider singing, or doing some work with this? So this morning we actually did the world premiere of that. It's going to be released, I think, Monday, is it?
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. It's going to be released tomorrow. So, yeah, we release a few songs here. We really do. So I'm pleased that you're in the mix.
Yeah, no, you guys are the first at a lot of things. You get the first part of every day. I mean, you're the first person into the new year, and you're getting the first taste of new music. So.
Yep, absolutely. We like to call it tomorrow's music today.
Yes, I love it.
We do, actually. It's quite quirky for us. But you're quite right. We are the first to see the light of the new day every day.
Yes.
And you know something, Kyle? I'll send you the lotto results. And you go down the road, and when you get them, go and buy a lotto ticket. If you win, I'll get you halves. It'd be an interesting experiment.
Same old fool, just trying to get you to come on over. Just come on over. So come on over, so we can do what we do. I got a bottle of wine and a candlelight, girl, I'm setting the mood. I bet
You're right, here at Galaxy 107 FM, and absolutely elated to have everybody joining us today here at Galaxy 107 FM and coming live out of Nashville is Kyle Elliott. Now, Kyle, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you, and I don't know whether you know too much about New Zealand or not, but we will introduce a few concepts to you as we go through this, including we have a thing here in New Zealand we call the Kiwi redneck.
Okay, not familiar, but I'd love to be enlightened on it.
Well, you know, the quote for today in the Kiwi redneck section is literally New Zealand women spend more time wondering what their men think of than their men actually spend thinking.
That's not too far off from the average kind of male-female relationship here. Being
See, we're really close then. We really, really are. And having said that, my friend, absolutely. Just wondering, once all this COVID virus stuff is over and done with, would you consider maybe coming to New Zealand and playing in front of New Zealand audiences?
Oh my goodness, that would be a dream come true. I've been in works with countries around the world with my music, and actually focusing more on the rest of the world instead of the U.S. I would love to go and travel and play these different countries, and I was actually in works to go to Europe last year, or this year, but unfortunately everything's taken a turn for the worse. But my gosh, what a blessing it would be to come down and play in front of the New Zealand crowd, and I mean, I can't imagine a more beautiful place in my head. So,
well, we would love to show you around New Zealand. Now, let me just figure this one out. Maybe 2 major festivals. We could either get you into that, or maybe 5 individual shows, if you know what I mean, up and down the country. Now, we're made of 3 islands. Check this out. The very small bottom one is called Stewart Island. And then whoever named New Zealand ran out of they just couldn't think anymore and went south and then north. I mean, at least Stuart got a name.
right. In the States, they got a little less creative as they went on too. I mean, how many North and South states do we have here in the States?
Yeah, well, true, but
South Dakota, Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina.
Yeah, well, I get that because some of the town planners throughout the United States run out of names and started picking up numbers.
Yeah, that same here. There's so many roads that are just State Road 15. That's very creative.
Yeah, exactly. You got to wonder, don't you? How the hell did you get your job? Really? But, we come from the North Island, which is slightly larger than the South Island. I've got to be honest with you, and yes, you're quite right. We do see the first light of the day every day, and well, we like to have a bit of fun here in New Zealand as well. Just wondering, are you up for a challenge or two?
Yes, bring it on.
Here we go. Love this. Really, really love this. Have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
Who? What?
A hoo-hoo, spelled H-U-H-U, grub.
I've not.
Okay, well, you're familiar with a caterpillar, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay, well, this is a caterpillar on steroids. It's like a double-decker bus to a mini, really. Alcohol. Let's just say that right from the start. Plenty of that to be introduced to this, because believe me, what you do is you put the live body in your mouth. You rip off the head. Don't eat the head. It's yucky. It's black. Nah. But when you crunch down on this, it's like eating creamy peanut butter.
Boy, what a concept that is. We use a worm in our tequila, but that sounds a little bit different.
Exactly, and believe me, I've had many tequila worms in my time. I really, really have. But the indigenous folks of New Zealand, namely the Maori, they still today actually have it as a delicacy.
I would be interested to try that. I'm all about different drinks, about different types of cultural things, so bring it on.
Nice.
That sounds like a true adventure.
That's very, very brave of you, and believe me, some of the people I've been talking to over the last few days or so have been going, No way.
No.
But, well, you know, it is something that we traditionally do here in New Zealand, especially with Aurora Entertainments. That Barbara brings bands into the country. She's the manager of Aurora, and it's a traditional thing that we do within their company when we do bring people into the country to have a little bit of New Zealand tradition. So, you're familiar with festivals, kids wandering around, candy flowers, you know, hot dogs on a stick, all that sort of thing.
Of course.
Yeah, well, they have a wild foods festival down the west coast of the South Island. And, well, yeah, no, you don't see a heck of a lot of that, but you might find a kid every now and again wandering around with a deep-fried locust on a stick or something like that.
A fried locust.
Yeah. Hey, listen, they deep-fry stuff you just shouldn't deep-fry down there, really.
Well, I will bring one of our delicacies. You might have a heart attack, but we deep fried butter here in the South.
Deep-fried butter. Okay. Well, you know, I thought deep-fried ice cream was kinky in its own right, but butter, well, yeah, I'll give it a go.
It's imagine a donut that has been turned inside out, and it's just probably the worst thing for your heart possible. But it's unreal. It's the best way to describe it.
Hey, listen, you got to die sometime, so what the hell? Let's do it. I'm that type of person. Now, have you ever heard of Queenstown?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you might be familiar with Queenstown. It's the place where all the A-listers go. It's a little boutique town, come city. All the A-listers go there, they escape the paparazzis, they get away from their friends and take their mates. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and believe me, you never know who you might bump into down there. Shania Twain owns property down there. Kevin Costner, he was there not so long ago. Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise, they all go there. You know what I mean?
Well, it seems like a good company. I'd love to join.
Yeah, you just don't want to bump into me because, believe me, Kyle, I'll throw you off a bridge.
Now why?
Because we have a thing down there called bungee jumping.
Okay. Now, here we have a thing called cliff diving, but there's no cord, and you might not come back up once you're in the water. But I love the idea of bungee jumping. I'm afraid of heights, but I like pushing the limits.
Well, you know something? As a child, I used to, where I was brought up, now I was born in the United States, but I was brought up on the west coast of the South Island, and they used to have these big cranes on the wharf where they used to put big coal trucks off the trains and empty all the coal into the hold of the boats. You know what I mean? And these things are huge. They're up so high, it's not funny. And really, you can get vertigo just thinking about going up there. We used to dive off these things into the Buller River as children. You know,
the idea of that just terrifies me.
well, you know, so cliff diving, okay, I'm into it. I'll give it a go. I've done it in Hawaii before.
Sure.
I used to live in Hawaii, so believe me, I've given that a blast. So, okay, I'm always up for a challenge. And there's a place just down from the west coast of the South Island called Hammer Springs. Now, they've got this bridge, and believe me, there's just one spot there. It is a long way down, rocks all around, but if you hit the right spot, my God, it is exhilarating. It really, really is. So, you know,
you're dead.
So if you're getting the idea that there's nothing really up here, you might be getting right, actually. But down in Queenstown, we have a thing called bungee jumping. Now, you're not Australian, so we'll attach the bungee.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
we have this brotherly love thing between New Zealand and Australia. You know, it's like America and Canada. I think it's an ice hockey thing for you guys.
Yes.
For us, it's rugby union.
Oh, gosh. The New Zealand rugby team is my favorite thing to watch in the Olympics. Just the most unbelievable sport and team of all time.
Well, we only just literally lost the World Cup this time around, I've got to be honest with you, because where it was held in Japan, on that one game, Mother Nature had to just get nasty and, well, it wiped everything out, so they judged us on points, And it's like the Duckworth system in cricket. You know, you never win that way. You never do. So,
Never.
but if it was able to go through, we would have won it hands down. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't doubt it for a second. The team is just incredible.
Yeah, and unlike the Wallabies over in Australia, they haven't had any silverware in their case for over 30 odd years now.
Well, they probably won't if they have to keep playing New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm sorry, I'm not crying one bit for the Wallabies. I've got to be honest with you. I really aren't. Now, are you familiar with Lord of the Rings, my friend?
I am. I've seen the entire series.
Okay, well, about an hour and a half away from where we are at this office right here in Kokoto is the original set of Hobbiton. And we'd love to be able to take you and show you around there and have some fun. You know, go to the party trees and the hobbit holes, all of those sort of things. It is absolutely fantastic. It is.
Oh my gosh! And well, just from the movies, I mean, the landscape is beautiful, but to see it in real life, I can't. It's almost unfathomable because everything's flat here in comparison.
Well, I tell you, Kyle, here's a little backstory for you. When I was at university learning to be a radio announcer, one of my friends down there, his name was Peter Jackson.
His name was what? I'm sorry?
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah, Sir Peter Jackson now, by the way. He's the guy that actually produced Lord of the Rings. Yeah, went to school with the guy.
Oh wow! What a treasure that must be.
Well, I tell you what, if you want to know the mentality of the man, well, may I suggest, go to YouTube, Netflix, wherever you're getting movies from, type in Meet the Feebles.
The Feebles, okay.
Meet the Feebles, literally. And it's sort of like a Sesame Street kind of thing, but different.
I think I've heard of that. I'll have to double check though.
Yeah, believe me, do that. Please do that, because believe me, it's a very entertaining movie. And that was typically, Peter Jackson when he was going to university. It really, really was.
Really interesting.
I can recommend a couple of others as well, and they get worse from there, they really do. But, well, you know, a lot of fun with Meet the Feebles. Now, listen, okay, I'm being told to stop the horseplay.
I love the lead-in.
Yeah, me too, I really do. Good segue. Kyle Elliott, tell me a little bit about horseplay.
So this was my gateway into studio work. I know several producers here in Tennessee, and a family friend of mine who I had recorded Any More with had said, "Hey, I've got this song. If you're interested in being the vocals on it, we'd love to have you." And so he brought me in, and it was a unique song from kind of the ground level. And he said, "We want to make it a little bit country, and we think your voice is perfect for it." So that they brought me into the studio. We laid down a couple of tracks, and I have had a lot of people request this song. And I'll be honest, I did not write this song. This is not one of the songs that I've even put out as a full artist, but people can definitely refer back to this. It's one of my earlier works, but it's a good song, and I think a lot of people do really enjoy it.
Well, you know, Kyle, we get quite a few requests for it right here at Galaxy. We really do. So here, live at Galaxy, is Kyle Elliott and Horseplay. Gosh, it's hot in here. You don't need a stiff drink yet, my brother?
What's that now?
You don't need a stiff drink just yet?
Oh no, not yet. It's still a little early. It's just now 7 o'clock. I gotta make it to midnight. So
Don't worry, alcohol doesn't know what time it is. It doesn't wear a watch.
oh goodness.
I keep telling that to people in Canada. They go, "Oh no, it's only 2 o'clock." So what?
I've had my fair share of mornings where we were chasing the hair of the dog, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, and then you've got to go back and have another one just because it bit you.
Just because.
Yep, absolutely. There's always a just because in there. Believe me, I'm a fan of just because. Who's with us at the moment?
Doesn't tell me.
Doesn't tell you? Oh, you've got it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough.
I'll wave to all the Facebook people.
Here we
Hello.
go.
There
Keep
you
waving.
go. Yay!
Hey, keep waving.
There you go. Yeah, well, that was a good trick. How did he do
Yeah.
that?
Oh no, I love doing these live streams. It's become such a normalcy with everything that's going on, and it's really challenged me to be more interactive. When I get back to playing shows regularly, people are going to be like, "Wow, this guy's so entertaining," but it's because I'm not. There's nothing else happening, and people are going to be bored. So I have to continue to keep up the entertainment.
Well, I've done this once or twice myself, so and I'm always finding these absolutely fascinating. I think we've done over 1,000
Yeah.
since we've done them, something like that. And here's something for you, my bro. We have a magazine in the UK that we're going to be on the cover of their next magazine. They dubbed us as the best in the world at what we do.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Huge shoes to fill with that one. You know, it gives you a complex, to be honest.
Sure.
And you're thinking, oh my God, now I've got to live up to it.
You can't stop now that you've already got the award. You just got to keep going.
I'm stuck. But I will tell you those, Kyle. I've been dubbed the godfather of modern New Zealand radio.
What a title! I spent some time in radio, and I know it's a pretty competitive and pretty tough business to be in. So, good. Congratulations! That's an honorable title.
It really, really is. Just means another version of, well, you're old, right?
Throw a little whiskey back, get that cough out of there.
I'm an asthmatic, I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm right. I am too. I've got my inhaler on hand.
Yeah, I apologise. Anyway, let's go back to the desk. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. It is absolutely fantastic to be joined by everybody on Facebook Live. And Kyle, I'll let you know, we'll give you a copy of everything we do today. I don't know whether you want to relive it or not, but we will give you a copy of that. We'll do some funny photos, everything like that, after we do the interview, because I want to talk to you about a good friend of ours as well. Now, having said that, and believe me, we were talking about getting you here in New Zealand, and believe me, our country is one of the most picturesque countries in the world. I must admit that. We loving the clean, green image that we have. But have you ever heard of a Zorb?
I've not, no.
Okay, let's go back to alcohol, because it's my favourite subject, really. Plenty of that involved. And, well, it's a big, clear plastic ball. We'll put you in the middle of it, roll you down a hill.
Okay, I didn't know what it was called, but I have witnessed that before.
Okay, well, we'll put some runners in front of you. This is why the alcohol comes in, as when you run over them, well, the looks on their faces are priceless, really. Oh, I got something going off here. Anyway, sorry, I got something making funny sounds at me. Must be a devicey kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Right, no, anything in the radio station, just lights going off, beeps happening.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
there.
I'm not quite familiar with that one, so I'll ignore it until the engineers get involved. I'm not going to touch it, to be honest with you. Things have got far more technical since the days when I first started radio, I've got to be honest, and it's been nice growing with the technology. Back in the day, I used to be on AM. I don't know whether you'd be old enough to remember that one.
Sure, the Grand Ole Opry still played on AM stations here in Nashville, so I definitely listen to the AM radio, but all you have to do is just unplug it and plug it back in. That's usually the cure.
Yeah, exactly. And believe me, I was in radio when they still had bells. Yeah, it's going back a day. Now,
Oh,
Kyle, I really want to do this before I move on too much further. Coming out of Tennessee, of course, we're talking about Nashville Music City, and of course, he just mentioned, well, the Grand Ole Opry. I've actually been there, I have. But I want to give a shout out to Rachel Selleck. And believe me, thank you, Rachel, for putting us in touch with everybody here to get Kyle on the radio. Now, Kyle, I've got to admit, it's not easy doing the interviews and everything like that. And once you've met me and have done an interview, you've become part of the Galaxy family. I don't know whether to congratulate you or feel sorry, actually.
Well, I'm glad to be here, honestly. It's been a pleasure so far, and looking forward to what we can do together. From what you've inspired, I'll be coming to New Zealand next year is what it sounds like.
Well, we want you to. We really, really do. And as I say, I'm thinking maybe about either 2 festivals, and believe me, we have some fairly interesting festivals, or maybe 5 individual shows here in New Zealand, maybe about 8 in Australia, only because we like their money, right?
Right. Not their rugby team, though.
No, believe me. There's a few other things in Australia that you want to avoid as well, including the women.
Spiders.
Spiders. Yeah, sorry. I meant to say spiders. Right. Of course I meant to say spiders.
Snakes.
I tell you what, I had an
Snakes,
Australian
yeah.
the other day. He rang me up and he says, Grant, you give us Australians a lot of trouble all the time. You keep saying something about 4X beer. I says, yes, of course I do. You don't know how to spell beer. He goes, yes, I do. B-E-A-R, beer. Yeah. Yeah, that's Australian for you. Good accent. Well done.
That's embarrassing.
Well, look, this morning I actually had somebody from Australia ring me up and she says to me, Grant, we kind of liken this COVID-19 to the Spice Girls. I went, really? She goes, yeah, we're all doing well except Victoria.
Now, why is that?
Because Victoria's closed down right now.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and there was a Victoria in the Spice Girls, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I will have to admit, that's right about my prime into childhood. I have an older sister who was a big Spice Girls fan, so anytime it comes on, just these flashbacks. So
Yeah, she got over it, right?
right.
No medication involved, thank God. Anyway, well, at least you could say that she didn't break, or maybe she's a never break. Tell me about never.
In here.
Tell me about Never Break.
So Never Break was kind of the first breaking song, which is ironic because it's said to never break. But a young lady named Stephanie Nash and I had met through mutual friends here in town. And she was a new songwriter on the scene, and I reached out and I said, hey, I see you wanting to do some songwriting, let's get together. And so we met up, and she had this idea. She said, I want to write this song where the hook is never break. And she had a good portion of the chorus, but she didn't have really the pieces to make it all fit together. And so we sat down, I put the music to it, and then we started writing the verses together. And before you know it, we had this incredible song. But it was never really meant to be a duet until we finally sat down and said, hey, if we change this 1 or 2 words, we can do this together. And 2 heads are always better than 1. And when you come together like that, the amount of effort that goes into it is doubled. And so we've been able to push that song. And I feel, I'm not mistaken, I think on Spotify it's getting close to 150,000 streams, which is a huge milestone. Most independent artists don't quite get that far, and the ones that do are pretty lucky. So I'd have to consider myself pretty lucky in that group because of this song. But it's a fantastic duet. A sad song, but a pretty relatable song.
Well, you'll be getting your check for $1.50, 75 cents each, I reckon, very, very shortly from Spotify. But I absolutely love this track. Live here at Galaxy is Kyle Elliott and Never Break. you feeling, Kyle? You okay?
Yeah, I might need to go get that drink here in a second.
Yeah, I think you might need it. You're starting to look that way. Getting a bit shaky. Sketchy.
Oh, goodness.
Dear. Believe me, my bro, we are all about having a bit of fun here at Galaxy. Really, you don't need a mentality to work here.
What you guys are doing, I mean, from what it sounds like, I mean, you just go in there and you do what you want to do, and there's not, you know, this overruling kind of boss that you gotta do. Having a conversation, and that's the best way to provide entertainment, if I'm being honest.
Well, thank you, Kyle. It really, really is. But you see, the beauty about us is that we're not funded by the government. We're not responsible to the government. We do have all the appropriate licenses, but we're not told what to do and when to do it. You know what I mean?
That's true freedom right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, therefore, we're not bound to running ads. Like, for instance, I refuse to run an ad in an interview. We'll do our thing as our ID. That's fair enough, but I'm not doing a half a dozen bloody ads in an interview. It just takes all the punch and everything away from the interview itself. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're not bound by money, which a lot of stations are. But having said that, I love talking to new artists that I think are on the precipice of making it in the music industry. And that's, I'm sure you've heard me say it before, tomorrow's music today, and that's where I put you, Kyle, is in that bracket. I think you're going to make it.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot. It's been an uphill battle the entire way. Lots of things have gotten in the way, but there's nothing else in the world that I want to do. So that's why I'm here.
Well, all I can say to you, Kyle, is keep doing what you're doing because my job depends on it, all right?
Hey, vice versa, too. So I appreciate it. Keep it alive.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure because here at Galaxy, we don't just play anybody. You've got to be of a caliber. Literally, you have to be of a caliber because our board, they're only interested in our image. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we have a certain thing we've got to keep up, and you tick all the boxes, Kyle.
Well, you know, I love what I do, and it's not, for me, it's not about the money, it's not about the fame. For me, it's about the music and the people. And that's with anything that I do. I don't go out, you know, looking to make a quick buck on anything. Everything I do is honest and it's real. So, and I can tell you guys are doing the exact same thing. What you just told me about refusing to do the ads. I mean, why? You know, you take away from the whole point.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about.
Kyle, I'm just going to butt in here. We'll go back to the desk.
Okay.
Never break. Who said we never break?
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 22 after 12 o'clock. It is 14 degrees, going down again. But don't forget, we are winter. But it doesn't feel like winter, I got to be honest with you. You know, 20 odd degrees today, that's not winter. That's, you know, like spring really, isn't it? Friday, August the 7th, coming into a brand spanking new weekend. And coming out of Tennessee, absolutely elated to be talking to Kyle Elliott, and a bit of sunrise coming up. But Kyle, over there, you know, I'm loving the plant kind of deal on the background there, but I don't see a single mason jar. What's up?
The mason jars are all in use. They're harboring lots of moonshine, and whether that's pickles and cherries, all a mixture. So they're in storage for later when we get to celebrate all the success that we have from our interview here.
Well, that's good. I've heard a couple of people who make it coming out of their pollutions. They said to me, Grant, it's not moonshine, it's hand sanitizer.
Pretty much. They taste about the same. So.
Okay. Well, I've actually had a few samples of hand sanitizer then, if you want to put it like that. I was over in the United States and stayed in a little place called Newport, just out of where you are in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, those guys, they used to disappear at strange hours of the day and night and then come back with these clear mason jars going, have a go at that, will you? And I'm going, what? And they're going, yeah, you can run your car on that. And I'm thinking, really? You want me to drink that?
Indeed, you can. They don't call it white lightning for nothing.
Well, I actually it was, what was that? A cherry pie.
Apple pie.
Apple pie.
Well, even though you're drinking the watered down stuff at that point, if they put any sugar in it, I mean, you're lowering the alcohol content by the percentage.
Well, these guys had managed to lay their hands on something that apparently was rather cherished over there. I've forgotten the guy's name. Popcorn Sutton.
Popcorn Sutton, yes.
And they had some of his recipes. And, well, to be honest with you, my friend, to coin a phrase, tore up from the floor up. I was buggered after that.
It doesn't take much, that's for sure. I used to actually, produce moonshine. I worked for a distillery in Nashville, and you want to talk about some high proof alcohol. I've tried it right out of the still, and I can tell you there is nothing quite like trying moonshine out of the still. It definitely burns, but you can taste everything that goes along with it. And I think it comes out about 168 proof. That's why people used to go blind, honestly.
Oh my goodness, that's the next rocket fuel. Yeah, we got a thing called SpaceX here in Gisborne in New Zealand. Maybe we could do a deal on refueling these guys. It might be better for them, literally. But having said that, my friend, absolutely fascinating. You see, here in New Zealand, we're allowed to make it. You know what I mean? We don't understand why it would be illegal, because everybody here, you can just go down the road and get everything you need. Go ahead, make it. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, the reason that it's illegal today is because the government has to get their portion of it via the permits that you have to have. People still make it in their backyard illegally. I mean, it's everywhere. But the reason they do it is so they don't have to pay somebody else. That's the end goal. It's the dollar. That's just with everything else.
Yeah, I understand that. I really, really do. But surely there's pros and cons to this, if you know what I mean. And a lot of people have been made cons because of the laws they have there at the moment. But, I'm sure if you have a look at it like, say, Canada did with the marijuana thing, where suddenly everybody's allowed to do it and da-da-da-da-da, before you know it, well, the government's making more money that way than what they are fighting to keep it illegal.
Oh, well, that's where moonshine comes from in the first place, is Prohibition, back in the Prohibition days. I mean, if you're familiar with the song Copperhead Road, that's what that song is about.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite songs. But no, moonshine has a great history, and I love it. It's just such a Tennessee thing, and you really haven't tried it until you had it. Well, they call it all different things across the world, but it's kind of the same thing no matter where you go.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. Now, are you familiar with the TV and internet series Moonshiners?
Yes, I've seen a good bit of it. They definitely throw in the Hollywood scene in there a little bit, but it's somewhat real.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, a couple of those actors, if you want to call them actors, are friends of mine. And I know Josh Owens, for instance, Cutie Pie, the little dog.
Just
Yeah, passed away just a few days ago.
Oh, well, I hate to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we have a few others that are involved. Tyler Wood, for instance, yeah, absolutely, yeah, that have been in for interviews, stuff like that. So we do understand about the product and the culture behind it. We really, really do. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Going right back, of course, to the 1920s. Be about that time, wouldn't it?
Indeed, yeah. Nashville was actually the first city in the country in the U.S. to fully enforce Prohibition. And there are a lot of bars in Nashville that resemble the old speakeasies of the day, because we had to hide it. And people, especially here in the whiskey capital, were not about to give up their alcohol.
Hell no! Absolutely not.
Through the Depression, okay?
Exactly, and I tell you what, you used to be able to get into these speakeasies, drink all night, come out at sunrise.
Some of them you still can, but they're very few and far between these days.
Well, I tell you what, Kyle Elliott, tell me about Sunrise.
Well, the Sunrise song is the beginning of this project that I've completely been working on for the past year and a half. The idea is to put out a 6-song EP, but to do it single by single, and then at the end of the day, I'm going to release the entire thing as a whole project again. But Sunrise was to really kick off this. It's a summertime song, which I know releasing it in August is summertime here, but that's winter over there. But it's kind of about the beach song. You know, you go, you meet somebody, you're great, you're enjoying of whatever you're doing, and on vacation or holiday, and it's such a fun song to play and to listen to. And it was actually the first real music video that I put out as well. That's on all my social media, so you can go check that out. And it was probably 104 degrees Fahrenheit that day where we were filming. And if you go back and watch, we shot the scene, which was shot at sunset because I wasn't waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to film the sunrise. But you can see from the beginning of the video to the end of the video, the sunburn that is just encasing my whole body from how hot it was that day. So the sun really did play a part in that song.
You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM and joined live by Kyle Elliott and Sunrise. I haven't seen him drinking yet.
No.
All right, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Do that. I knew I talked him into alcohol. Dearie. Aren't I naughty? Barbara's nodding. Absolutely. I think he needed a pit stop anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can resist all temptation except temptation itself, right?
Yep, you're going to get that flag.
I want that flag.
Yeah.
I do.
We speak to a lot of people in Tennessee, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, so we need a flag, really.
Yeah, we need to represent your state, Tennessee.
Mm.
Send me a flag.
Yeah.
Any other country, any other state in the United States that has its own flag, send me one. Go on, I dare you. Really do. Look at that.
What's
Now,
that?
sorry, Kyle. Now you look dressed.
What is
You've
it?
got the cube in there, so.
Well, you know what they say about the cube, right?
Tell me.
It's only, well, water with a heart on.
Oh, you got a cue for everything, don't you?
Well, yeah, tell me something, Kyle. Have you ever tried vegan sausages?
Vegan sausages?
Yeah.
Does that exist?
Yeah. Well, they do, but, you know, Kyle, I was just wondering if they're made out of real vegans.
I mean, I'm not opposed to eating vegan. I think it would be a little bit tastier.
I only go for the female version. Sorry. I don't mind eating a female.
Facebook will ban my film.
Hey, look, one guy said to me the other day, "I love your beard. What do you feed it?" I went, "Female bass players."
Hey, this is just a few days, so I'm getting hungry. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, yeah, okay, me too. Last song coming up is Temptation next.
Okay. That's right. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and well, 26 away from 1 o'clock. It is 13 degrees. Sort of, yeah, it's going down again. So, well,
We are in winter, aren't we? Friday, August the 7th. I think it's going to rain again, actually. I've got to be honest with you. So if you are on the roads, drive to the conditions, right? Turn your lights on, make it click, make sure you get to your destination safely. We want you there, literally. Anyway, absolutely elated to be joined by Kyle Elliott coming out of Nashville, Music City, and well, we have a few friends there, we really, really do. And Kyle, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today, getting to know you, but I'm just wondering, are you a James Bond fan?
Oh, 007, Goldeneye. Let's go.
Well, you know that Daniel Craig has just finished making his very last James Bond movie, right?
Right.
Well, halfway through making that movie, he actually broke his ankle and down for about 12 weeks. Believe me, that comes into a bit of expense when you've got all the staff and everything involved. They're just chewing up money waiting for him to get his ankle back into line again to be able to finish the movie. So all the franchise owners and everything like that all got together and decided they're going to change James Bond to a woman. Now, scarily enough, the world went, no way, we can't do that to James Bond. I mean, Moneypenny's Moneypenny. You can't make James a Jane. You know what I mean? Ian Fleming wrote James Bond as a man. So now they've compromised. Do you know what they're going to do now?
Tell me.
He's going to be gay.
Well, that's the only compromise, I suppose, because you can't have. Well, don't put this pressure on me.
I'm not. But I'll tell you something. Do you know what they're going to call him now?
Oh, tell me.
07.
Again, you have all of the jokes.
You got to wonder what he's going to do with his Walter PPK, right?
It must be very tempting for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, what a blast. Anyway, Kyle, believe me, it would be very tempting for him. I can resist all temptation except temptation itself. That's the truth. But, Kyle, tell me about temptation. Tell me all about it, please.
So Temptation is the black sheep of the songs that I've released so far. It's so different from everything else, and I didn't sit down with this idea to write kind of this southern rock kind of song. It just kind of fell out of me, and halfway through it, I said, "Man, this really sounds like something that Chris Stapleton can sing." And I said, I don't have any main connections. I have no direct contact with him, but I said, if somebody hears this, just maybe he'll record it and maybe he'll cut it. And so I started playing it, and it's become kind of the rock anthem of my original songs. And it's such a cool little riff, and I have no idea where it came from within me. But again, like most of my songs, there is some realization after the fact, and there is temptation in everything that we face. And just as we've talked about with a lot of things, so there's temptation in choices we make every day. And you got to be stronger than that, and you got to have to kind of stick to yourself and do what you think is best. Just turning down record labels or trying to find the right glass of whiskey when you're supposed to. But a great tune that came out of it, and I don't know if he's heard it yet, but I'm still hopeful.
Fair enough too. And well, you never know. We might know Chris Stapleton. You never know. Yeah.
He's listening right now.
Yeah, well, we actually have been due to do an interview with him, and well, you never know. It might happen. We might drop your name. See if he, if he is up to your caliber. How's that?
Sounds great.
I like that. I really, really do. But I got to be honest with you. I think songs put together much like this has the longevity. You know what I mean? The songs that are made in 5 minutes, they can actually be the ones that stick around forever and a day. Much like Temptation. 1,709 requests since we've been playing it right here at Galaxy is Kyle Elliott and Temptation. True Grace.
You're telling me 1,709 people have requested that song?
Yes, they have.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. I need a weekly update from you guys. That makes me excited.
You don't know me that well. Getting updates, my God, it sounds like a computer.
Well, I'll send a care package in return. It'll have a Tennessee flag, a bottle of whiskey, and something for your sweet tooth.
Nice, but I tell you what, I tell you what. How would you like to throw in a few CDs and a couple of T-shirts so we could do a giveaway for you? Keep your name rolling here.
I'll be happy to do that, and I've got plenty of my stickers here that I can toss in there too. Yeah, we'll make sure that we stuff on addresses, and I'll be happy to send some stuff your way.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll get Barbara to send you all the details and everything you need to know. She'll also send you some videos on the hoo-hoo grub, the Zor, bits and pieces like that, just to show you that we're not pulling your leg. We actually do these crazy things here. So we'll do all of that. But we'll wrap it up from here. The other studio's ready to go back in again. But hang in here, my bro. We'll do a couple of crazy photos. And we'll also do a very, very quick video that we'll put on our website. Now, believe me, people go and look at our website. Unfortunately, they don't just go and live stream us. They get nosy. They have a look through. Bro, sometimes I feel very oogled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, you'll end up with another 5,000 Facebook fans and half a dozen Twitter fans.
Oh, I hope so.
You know, and you might actually find one person that's going to buy your record.
Hey, maybe there's one in every batch, it seems like, but they're rare and hard to come by.
Oh, love them to bits, believe me. But yeah, any way that we can promote you, Kyle, we will absolutely do so. Now, have you visited our Facebook Facebook artist page?
I was watching your other stream earlier today with the young ladies that you had on. Let me see. I know Barbara's tagged me in some stuff here. Again, I have so much going on my social medias, right?
Well, if you go to the Galaxy artist page, anything you're doing, if you're releasing a new song, if you're kissing your girlfriend, if you're having a concert, whatever, put it there.
Anything silly.
Anything silly, you know what I mean? People look all the time. All the time. It's there for you artists to use. Please use it, will you?
So Kyle was the one I didn't know who was on.
Kyle was the one that... Oh, Kyle, you just spun yourself.
What did I do?
You were watching us. And we were in Jennifer's bedroom. Let's go back to the desk. Kyle, I'm going to wrap it up for here, but don't go anywhere, okay, bro?
I'll hang out.
Nice.
Yes, I've done enough to earn my soul's eternal damnation. Told you I wouldn't stop till I reach my destination.
Galaxy 107 FM.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 17 away from 1 o'clock. It is 13 degrees downtown. Yeah, we've done all the highs and lows. I think it deserves to be where it is right now, to be honest with you. Friday, August the 7th, and today's feature artist being Kyle Elliott, coming out of Nashville, Music City in Tennessee. And it's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you. Kyle, will you come back again?
Oh, it would be my honor. Hopefully we can do this in person one of these days, where I can make it down there and maybe play a few shows along the way.
Well, we want that to happen. We really, really do. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. All I can say, though, is bring some bail money.
Okay. For me or for you?
Both. I'll take a preview on that one. Yeah, well, it's just that the police know me. You know what I mean? Everywhere. everywhere. I don't know whether you would know this or not, but in Auckland, our biggest city, I'm frank, and in Wellington, one of the other cities, our capital, I'm earnest. So it's good to be frank and earnest with people.
Well, you couldn't have played it better if you tried.
Fair enough too. Stay where you are, Kyle, and we'll get this underway. Yes, we'll go over to Studio B right now. Here at Galaxy 107 FM is Glenn Campbell.